Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel.
Switch it.
If you're new here, my name is Kate. I'm a weightlifting athlete usually based out of London, but I'm currently in a 6-month sabbatical in Cyprus training. I thought to bring you with me on a 2-week vlog of training and looking back into every single session leading up to a competition in Cyprus. So the competition is on the 6th of July, so on the following Saturday. So what I thought it would be interesting to see is what are the 2 weeks leading up to the competition looking like in terms of training. Usually the week of the competition is a taper week, so I do naturally have a lot less sessions and volume, so my sessions are usually super quick and then the volume is relatively low just to stay fresh for competition. But the week leading up to comp week is usually a lot heavier, trying to hit openers, trying to make things a bit more consistent. So I thought it would be interesting to bring you guys along. So first session down of the week, it wasn't too bad of a session. I thought it would be a lot worse. I thought snatches would be a lot worse. I went up to 60 kg, which is a bit over the percentages that we were meant to do today, but still felt pretty confident. When I was back in London, we changed a lot of the techniques, so things are feeling a bit off in terms of I'm not used to the positions that I'm currently putting my body in. So it's not too bad considering I changed everything. So the aim is to build some consistency on the snatch and clean and jerk. We changed the jerk quite a bit. The cleans felt fine. What else did I have today? So had some cleans, power jerks. Power jerks felt a bit off. I only stayed up to 65 kg, which is probably lower than the intended percentage for the day, but not too bad either. Did 3 clean and power jerks and then build 2-3 heavier cleans. Didn't have the confidence to go to 85, but hopefully by the end of the week I should feel a bit more confident with that and be able to build into that. Then had some squats. I had 5s in squats, but also built to a heavy single for the day up to 98 kg. I attempted 102 but didn't have it in me today. So yeah, we'll see how things go. I'm gonna drive home, have some lunch, hopefully take you guys along with me the whole week of training. Day 2 of car story sessions. Session was good actually. I had block snatches and then clean triple jerk, which I transitioned into a clean double jerk, followed by back squats, sets of 3. Block snatches went really good, went up to 65, which I'm quite happy with because that's what I want to finish the comp on. And then clean triple jerk up to 73, clean double jerk up to 75, which is decent. Probably a couple of weeks ago I wouldn't have been as happy, but given that I've changed the technique completely, especially for the jerks, I am quite happy with that. Things felt comfortable, so let's see how things go. Back squats a bit more of a struggle. Like I had front squats yesterday, which I went pretty heavy for, so it felt a bit like off when it came to like pushing from the bottom up. So I went up to 105, which is not too bad to be completely honest. It's still pretty decent. It was meant to be RPE 8. It felt more like an RPE 9, but it was okay. Like quite happy with that considering it's rest day tomorrow. I'm gonna go home, stretch a bit, maybe sit a bit in the recovery boots, and then probably go for a walk at the end of the day. Okay, so the only other thing I wanted to touch upon from training today is like, I don't know, I came across this situation where like one of the coaches is trying to like, I don't know how to put that like politically correct, but like pin people against each other, and I really don't get it. Like it's such a small sport in this country, and like I don't get why people don't try to just be supportive and like lying about other people's lifts just to kind of create competition feels a bit of like a low thing to do. And maybe that's not what he was trying to do, but that's kind of what I sense from it. But yeah, it feels just a bit weird that like in such a small community that's weightlifting, especially in this country, people do that. I don't know, I feel like the weightlifting community here is a lot more toxic than it is back in the UK, and I do like that in the UK people support each other. And don't get me wrong, not everyone supports everyone, and that's totally fine. Like, you don't need to be friends with everyone, and a bit of competition is healthy, but like for a community that's this small, such as the Cypriot weightlifting community, I do feel like you need a lot less competition and a lot more kind of support of each other. Yeah, I just kind of, that's the feeling I get from the gym, and maybe I'm completely off base here, but I really don't feel like anyone's supporting anyone. And obviously I'm coached by someone completely different than the coaches here, and I am coming from a very different background compared to everyone else, so I don't know if that's also what's kind of driving things to be slightly different. But yeah, I don't know, I'm more used to lifting in a very supporting environment where if you're maxing out, people will cheer for you and stuff like that, whereas here just people stare and they will say good job. There is a few exceptions, like I do have some very, very good friends within weightlifting in Cyprus, and I love lifting with them, and it is so much fun to do that, and there is healthy competition within that, but yeah, I wouldn't say overall it's the most supportive thing. Anyway, just go home. I'm gonna have some lunch, late lunch because it's 5:15, and then shower and go for a walk probably around 8 p.m. Bring it with me for lunch, even though it is generally already prepped. I am going to just transfer it in a bigger container so I can mix it together. So what's for lunch? So I got chicken with courgettes, tomatoes, carrots, and some corn. So I'm just gonna transfer this on like a bigger bowl. And what I'm gonna do is put on some sriracha mayo on. I think the cat may just jump from the window. Oh, there he is. Uzo! What is this behavior? Are you spoiled? Yes. The answer is yes. Uzo, get down. You're not meant to be on the counters. Okay. I do like 15 grams. And it has like quite a lot of fat, but it adds so much flavor that like I target the fats for the day. I am tracking quite a lot what I'm eating, so we are like what, 10 days out of comp. It is the 26th of June, it's a Wednesday, and the comp is on the Saturday 6th of July. So we are fairly close to a comp, so I am tracking quite everything. I'm 65 kilos now, I'm meant to be competing 64 under, but it's Sinclair, so I don't actually need to be 64 under for this comp, unless I wanted to count towards anything that's weight class based, which I don't think we have any qualifications right now with Cyprus, so unless I can actually send this score to the UK, then probably I'll just compete as a 65 or whatever I wake up in the day. I am trying to stay as low as possible to make kind of cutting for competition slightly easier. I'll just take you with me whilst I do some chores. So yeah, I am trying to like stay as low as possible whilst kind of training. Also that I feel a lot more used to the weight that I'm actually lifting the weights in. So yeah, the plan is try to still kind of drop a bit more in the coming months, but not really worry too much about how much I weigh for the actual competition day. So yeah, that's the plan. Just stick to like a lower body weight kind of throughout the year. Make cutting for competitions easier. I don't think I would go down to 59 to be completely honest. I want to build some more strength and get my numbers up once I stabilize my weight to like 64 and a half probably. And then around comps, if I just like cut out processed food and just maybe do kind of a small fiber cut, it should be fine. So yeah, that's the thinking process behind it, but I'm not putting too much pressure for this comp. The next comp is actually in October, so I've got plenty of time to prep for that, and I'm gonna try to use that as a qualification for the English nationals which are likely to be in December. I think the date has been confirmed, but I haven't really paid too much attention to it because I haven't gotten the total yet at a competition. I have the total from training, but not from a comp, so hopefully the stars will align on a competition day and get them and take it from there. This vlog is literally deteriorating because I had such a horrible day at the gym. It was meant to be a heavy Friday where I hit my openers. Snatches went okay, and then I had a complete meltdown. I couldn't jerk anything over 80. I hit 80 once, but then kept chickening out on 82, which was not good. Not good at all. I don't know, I got really into my head, and then after that, like, I couldn't get my head back into the game. Spent the last 10 minutes crying at the gym floor, not very visibly. I was hiding away from people, trying to get my head into kind of a position to get home and drive home because it's really hot as well. So yeah, not the last heavy session I wanted before a competition. Hopefully a taper will help when it comes to like getting my head back together, not chickening out on jerks, because I'm fine with like missing a jerk if I attempted it, but the problem is I'll dip and then drive and just let it go, not even attempt to get under the bar, which is super frustrating because like I've been working on jerks so much, but like since freaking March I haven't really jerked anything over 82, I would say, or 83. When I was hoping to like be opening with 82, this is ideal. So probably I'll be opening with something lighter than what I wanted or what I anticipated, assuming I compete, because now I'm toying with the idea of pulling out of the comp, which I know is not the right thing to do, but I really don't feel like I'm in a mental position to push for this competition, mostly because, you know, like, one is in Cyprus, and like I don't really feel like there is a good support network here when it comes to weightlifting. Like, my full network is back home, back in London, so like doing it without a coach that I feel like cares about how I perform, it's a bit, you know, it gets a bit in my head. So yeah, we'll see how things go. You can tell I had a bad session because I'm having porridge for lunch. Porridge is probably my favorite food, and I don't know, because it feels carby even though it's like I only put like 30 grams of oats, but it feels fairly carby, and the peanut butter makes everything better. And it is technically a complete meal. Okay, let me pick this up. Hello. This just adds extra volume, just so it feels like a big quantity of food, even though it's not really that much food. It's just a quick lunch. I had protein powder at the gym, trying to pull my shit together after the session and drive home. But yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some video editing whilst having lunch, and then I'm gonna shower, journal a bit, and then go to a coffee shop and do more editing and some coaching stuff there, mostly to get out of the house so I'm not kind of stuck in my thoughts about the session, but also I don't want to just sit in front of the TV from now because I'm spending Friday at home anyway in the evening, so it would be good to like change a bit of scenery and then yeah, kind of get home for dinner and for kind of probably Netflix. I don't know, I'm not currently watching anything. I was watching Kaleidoscope, but currently kind of paused it, so probably I need to restart it because I don't exactly remember what was happening. So yeah, that's the plan for the day. So I'm gonna have a bit of me time and try to, yeah, kind of get into better headspace. Back up training tomorrow, last day of the week. It's a live day, more technical stuff, so we'll see how things go, but I need to also go and rewatch my videos from today and just see what didn't go very well and whether it's just in my head that I'm chickening out on lifts or whether there is something I need to change next week. Anyway, next week I'm not going very heavy, so hopefully my legs are gonna feel fresh next Saturday, assuming I'm competing. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say assuming I'm competing at this video, but probably I'm gonna post this after the comp, so we'll know whether or not I competed. We made it to the end of the week. Saturday, I'm gonna head to the gym for the last session of the week, and taper week starts Monday, so I always take Sundays off because it just makes life slightly easier to just have Sunday to reset. Also in Cyprus, gyms are closed on Sundays anyway. I used to take Sundays off in London as well, but in Cyprus it just wouldn't work any other way. So yeah, I'm gonna go train. It's just push jerks today, and then some pulls and accessories. I'm probably gonna do some pull-ups, some jumps, stuff like that, and then I'm gonna come back home, pack up, and go to the beach for the weekend. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to like a holiday town from later today, so Saturday afternoon, back Sunday evening, so I can go to the gym on Monday. It's gonna be a nice, easy session, I hope, and hopefully it's not gonna be too hot or too busy. So see you in a bit.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started. Oh, that's real good. To get a hold of yourself. Ain't nobody stopping me.
On competition week, I only had 3 sessions. So Monday on July 1st, we had a relatively heavy session, so I built up to my openers, so 62 snatch and 80 clean and jerk. So I tried to do the same jumps I would have done at the competition, and then I also had some heavy front squats, just singles, just to get some stimulus into my legs and just move a bit around. This was actually a relatively good session, so everything felt quite nice and fresh. Like, I didn't find anything too heavy. I managed to kind of not miss a single lift within the Monday, so that felt really good going into competition week. On Tuesday, I had a snatch EMOM. Everything was super light though, so just getting some consistent reps in up to 53 kg on the snatch. And then I had a clean and jerk complex of clean power jerk into split jerk, just to practice some of that new split jerk technique and the dip and drive, which was what basically we changed over the last weeks. Despite being a light session, Tuesday actually felt relatively heavy. So the 65 clean into power jerk into split jerk did feel quite fatiguing on my legs. I don't know to what extent it was just kind of in my head, but things did feel fairly heavy, but I knew that Wednesday was a rest day, so I had time to kind of rest, recover, and get my legs feeling a bit more fresh before the last session of the week, which was on the Thursday. Thursday is the last session of training before the competition. So the intent of this was just to get my joints moving, get some power through my legs by having some power snatches, some light full lifts, as well as some power clean split jerk. I also had some light RPE 6 squat triples with some plyometrics, just to get some stimulus into my legs before Friday rest day, and then Saturday is comp day. The session overall felt okay. not too hard, not too light either. So I did go up to 65 on clean and jerk, which felt relatively okay. And then the squats were the only thing that I could actually feel some leg fatigue still from the remaining of the week, which may not have been ideal, especially considering how light the squats were. May have not been ideal, but it is what it is, right? Like at the end of the day, you just do the work and then you hope for the best on Saturday. Since the competition is in Limassol, on Friday we actually drove to Limassol, which is an hour and 10-minute drive from my city. We stayed at a hotel which had this amazing view of the beach. And on the Friday we got there in the afternoon, so I actually did some mobility in the hotel room before going for a walk and a swim. So since we were on the coast, I thought to take advantage of being able to walk by the sea, as well as kind of jumping into the pool for a bit, doing some laps here and there, trying to shed that last bit of weight before the competition, but also just get moving a bit. Considering it's so hot, going for a very long walk would not have been ideal. So I just did a very short walk by the coast and then just went for a swim. At the end of the day, I did actually meet a friend, which was super lovely. I met a weightlifter from Limassol who I did a few comps with in the past. So we went for a coffee, had a quick catch up, which was really nice before the comp. So the competition clearly didn't go as well as hoped or planned. I didn't make any of my snatches, so I did bomb out, which is suboptimal. I pressed out the second snatch, which is the one you're seeing now, and that's why it didn't count and it did bomb out, and then obviously failed the other two. I did decide to go for the clean and jerks. Having said that, I did the first one lower than I was planning on opening, so I did 78, and then I decided to go to 81 for the second one. Even though the first clean and jerk felt okay, the second clean was fine, but then I chickened out on the jerk, which is a problem I've had quite a lot in training. And considering that I chickened out on the second jerk, I decided to just pull out of the competition and not attempt a third lift. Obviously, the comp was not what I hoped for or what I was working towards. Like bombing out in a competition in Cyprus is not ideal, especially because I don't really see the federation that often, since I usually train and compete in the UK. Having said that, it is what it is, right? Like, everyone has a bad day. There were a lot of elements that I think if you look through the last 2 weeks of training, you can probably pick up on some on kind of where my mental state was throughout training. Obviously, we did change a lot of things when I went to London in terms of technique, but I don't think at the end of the day that's what drove the results, but rather kind of the mental state that I had when going into the competition, the fact that there was a lot of kind of mess happening in the back room. I did warm up a lot faster than I should have, so I did my last snatch probably 5-6 minutes before I went out, which is a long time. People did kind of change their lifts last minute, which is expected, right, in every comp, but given that I also didn't have a coach there, it was just all on me trying to figure out what I should do, if I should do another 60 at the back or not, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was not a good comp. It's not the end of the world. My priority now is getting my head to the right space going forward. So in the next couple of weeks, probably what I'm going to do is actually do a bit of CrossFit, try to take a step back from weightlifting for a week or so at least, just so I can get like into a more positive headspace when it comes to training, when it comes to moving. And then we will go back into training probably mid-July, so probably the 17th of July. I am also traveling quite a lot over July. I have family visiting, which could actually be a very positive thing because I'm going to be training probably only 3 to 4 times a week rather than 5, and that means that I can probably detach a bit from training when it comes to like thinking about how training goes, what the lifts are like and stuff like that. So yeah, I am excited to see how things go. I mean, it's only upwards from there, right? Like once you bomb, it's like, okay, you've reached your bottom, so now you can only do better. I guess the only other thing to note is like how important mental health and kind of your mental headspace is around competitions. So when I do comps in the UK, it's so different because I have people that know me very well to coach me in the back room. You have someone like loading and unloading your bar when you're warming up, so you don't waste that energy. You do have 2 hours between weigh-in and start of the competition, so you have enough time to eat. Whereas here we had 45 minutes between weigh-in and start of the comp, which meant that I ate breakfast so rushed and then started mobilizing like 20 minutes after breakfast. The comp was very early as well, so weigh-in was at 8:15, which is a lot earlier than I'm used to, and it was very hot. There was no AC in the back room or anywhere really, so it was very hot. I chose to wear leggings under my singlet because I actually hate having the contact of the bar, especially on cleans, on my legs, which probably wasn't the best idea. I should try to train in shorts a lot more. So I'm more used to just competing in a singlet without leggings because it was extremely hot and I couldn't actually regulate my body temperature. But yeah, I would say like overall, I was not in the best space in the back room. Like there was so much mess happening. Like people were arriving super late. There were coaches that arrived 5 minutes before the competition started. There were people that weren't coaches and weren't competing that they were in the back room. So it just all felt super messy. And then obviously not having someone that knows me and supports me to like coach me in the back room and kind of help me with loading and unloading was also quite challenging, because it does make a massive difference. Like it may be such a small thing, but having people from your team or having your coach coach you in the back room is so important. And then going into a comp where you have to do everything yourself is just so stressful. And if you time something wrong, then it is what it is, right? You can't really change it. So definitely not the comp that I was hoping for or expecting, but a comp that we got. The next one is actually in 3 months. Yeah, a bit short of 3 months. So I'm doing one on the 28th of September. So I'm doing the MEMS one back in London. That's going to be a good comp. Like, I know it from now, like regardless of like how much I lift, I know, I think 90% of the people who are competing there. So it's a lot of MEMS people, a lot of running people, a lot of Benedict's lifters, who's my coach. So it will be a very, very fun comp regardless of the result. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, it is what it is. Not the best way to end this vlog, but it is okay, because I know that now I know what I need to do kind of in the coming weeks and the coming months of the sabbatical. Yeah, I think the main focus will be kind of training in a supportive environment. I'm probably going to be training a lot more at the CrossFit gym because I really get along with the people there and I do have a lot of fun there, and I do want to enjoy training a lot more, because one thing that I've learned in the past as well is that the more stress and the more I don't enjoy training, the worse competitions go. Mental health is probably the most important thing when it comes to competitive sports. So yeah, the goal would be just to train in a more supportive environment, enjoy a bit of summer, enjoy family time when my family is visiting in July, and then kind of hit the ground running again in August a bit more. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know it may have not been the most positive vlog, but I guess this is the reality of a competitive sport. So stay posted for what's to come. There's probably going to be a lot more vlogs around kind of training, but also life in general whilst here in Cyprus. And let me know if you want to see anything else.